G'day, how are you all going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. This is going to be a lesson for beginners to do a beautiful country barn scene. Before we get going, I'll get some sizes on the canvas there in centimetres and inches. And we'll also get some colours going up the screen as well. That way you'll know what we're going to use, and you can get the same colours or something similar if you want to paint along with me. All right. And what else is there? I've got my coffee there. I found a picture on Upsplash. It's a bit like Pixabay. Apparently it's a free website, and I was having a look in there the other day just to see. It's so hard to find something when I want to look for a reference, but I found a barn. So I'm changing it up a bit anyway as well, but I'm going to use the actual barn. So come on over here and I'll just show you what we're going to get up to, all right? So I've printed out the barn. I'll have a traceable for this in my traceable link. The links are in the description below. You'll find this traceable there. I've made it up from the photo, and I've scribbled on the back like I normally do, and I've got red pen and I've transferred it onto my canvas, okay? Which is here. And we've also got a mountain range behind it. So I've got all that taped up so as I can get my sky on first. All right, I've got my student paint, craft paint, flowing white paint. I've just got it right there. And I've got some retarder extender medium mixed with that to keep it wet longer, because I want to be able to blend a beautiful realistic type of sky. Now, you watch this video if you're a beginner. Watch it a few times and watch what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and then practice what I'm doing, and then you can do this painting yourself. Now I've got the sky area ready to block in with this. This is going to allow the sky colours to blend like beautiful. And I've got the cabin and the mountain range there taped off so I don't get wet, rubbery, retarded paint under it when I try and paint over the top of it, okay? Alright, so we'll get this massaged in there. I'm massaging. Don't just get this on and leave it unless you're going for that textured artistic look, okay? If you don't want that in there, you've got to take the time to razzle dazzle the smoothness into it, okay? Now work out if you want to have a warm sky or a cool sky. What's the difference between warm and cool? Your colours on your colour wheel or a colour chart. Cool colours are anything you'll find in water. Water is cool, so just think of cool colours you'll find in water. And warm colours, any colours you'll find in a fire, which your fire keeps you warm. So you got your reds, yellows, darks, all those fiery colours are warm. And the watery, oceany colours, lagoon colours, they're cool colours, okay? That's an easy way to decipher the difference. Okay, the next colour I want to use is the sky colour blue, so I'm using cerulean blue. You use whatever you like. I like cerulean blue. And I've got a little bit of permanent alizarin there. I'll show you what that's for later. Okay, going for a realistic sky, we want pretty much the corners darker than the rest and the top darker than the bottom area. Now I want to crisscross this down to that tape there. Okay, I've done that. Now I want to brush it left and right to spread it through nice and even. Okay, there we go. That's reasonable. I could put more white in there if I feel, but I'm going to leave it at that, okay? I'm just getting all those brush marks out of it. Let me get rid of this. And rid of that. So as I'm not pulling it into the painting, there we go. Now that permanent alizarin, I just want a little bit out here somewhere, and just the littlest bit on my brush. Where's the top? Here we all are here. So you pretty much want it right in the middle of the horizon there like that, okay? I'll wipe a bit of that off. And we want to just get that down and across the sky, get it up there like that. This just adds a element of pollution, distance and atmosphere and realism to your sky. There we go, bit of warmth in there. Now we'll quickly add some clouds. So we've got our nice sky colour there. Some good clouds are easy to do as well. Let me show you how I can do them my way. Alright, so I'm just loading up a fan brush, and I want some down the bottom here, just these type, grab yourself a blending brush. I better grab a blending brush. These type will be blended down to the horizon line. So I kind of find my mark with the brush, come up there, find my mark, get the tops a little bit cloud-like. Yeah, they're looking like clouds. See what I just did there? Now I've got a bit on my brush. I want to wipe that off. And now I want to sort of bring this down to that tape into the horizon line there, if I can. Oh, not if I can, I just bloody will. How's that? There we go. Beautiful. Pull that out a bit. All right, now we'll put another one in there. That wasn't too hard, was it? Quite easy. I like doing these low ones in the atmosphere down there. So where's the top of the thing? There it is there. I want something maybe here and coming along there. Okay, same again. Get the top of it the way you want. Just sort of move this around the brush. Yeah, happy with the top of that. Wipe it. See all the twisted turmoil, the way it's mixed with that permanent alizarin? It's given it its values and shadows in there. Now I want to pull this down. Where's that tape? Oh, there it is, just there. I want to pull this down to the horizon line, which is the top of that tape. I never want the cloud bending off the painting. If anything, I would like it continuing up, something like that. All right, there we go. That's enough. That's all I want down the bottom. All right, now we could leave it. I don't really want to leave all this blue and open, so I might just put something spearing from the center, coming pretty much over the head of us. Okay, just like that, creating the body. When we blend it, all that turmoil is going to happen. All right. So we'll get leaving a bit of the bottom on there, a bit of a bum on there. Beautiful like that. Left a bum on it. Now we can turmoil this. Bits of bums on it. Just turmoil it. Wipe the build up as you go. And see how it's making soft cotton whispery clouds. They happen on their own. You don't have to overdo it. See, I'm not overdoing it. Just twisting. I call this turmoil. Oh, the amount of turmoil your brush creates. There we go. It's a bit of a V, isn't it? But all right, that'll do. Now I just want to put the yumminess in there, and that will do it. So for the yumminess, I'm picking up the smaller fan brush that's clean. And this cloud is pretty much going to be highlighted with some brilliant white yumminess like that. I call it yumminess. Stamp it on wherever you feel and blend this down, but leaving the brightness of it there. So don't wash the brightness of it away. Just easily does it. And this will create the third dimension of your cloud, in my opinion. There. This is pretty high up. It's not a stormy day, so I'm not going to put weather colours in here. That's pretty much it. All right. I don't know, maybe some cirrus here, just to break up that dead spot. See, my paint is wet with that retarded paint underneath it. That's why I'm allowing to do this. It's allowing me to do this. There we go. I just dried this top area here where the tape meets the sky. I didn't worry about the rest of the sky because I'm not going there. And I want to peel the tape off so as we can start with the rest of the painting. Okay, so best way to get your tape off is have a knife, just jab underneath it and it'll peel it up. There we go. Now the next colours I have on my palette is burnt umber and some black. I want to map in the lower half. So you can see I'm going to have the barn here and some distant hills. Okay, so I want to get some of the burnt umber on a brush with some black in there. Just get this area of it quite dark. I don't want it just pure black, so I don't want to shade it too much. And I want to paint in the hills. Now that line there doesn't have to be super sharp in focus because it's in the background. So just let it do its thing. And then we'll just block around the barn here so we don't get all paint in the barn. About there. Beautiful. Now I want to block that in. Okay, so I'm going to dry this. So that's the picture I found on Unsplash. So I'm going to get a nice grass in front of me shack. I'm not putting these big trees in here. I'm just putting a distant mountain behind. So I've done the sky. Now we're going to put these mountains in. So we're just going to put them in, probably a bit of trees in front of it. Then we can do the cabin and then bring the rest of the foreground in front, okay? I've got some forest green and some cadmium yellow light, so I want some of the forest green, but it's very dark. It's not going to show up on that dark colour that I put there. So I'm going to put a little bit of the yellow light there just to turn the lights on there, okay? So I pretty much want to do all these umbrella-y shapes like that coming in. So you can go a little bit higher than that. Don't worry if you touch a bit of the barn, because the barn's going to be painted in front of it. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I've done everything there. Now I want to mix up some yellow and the burnt umber. So grab some of that burnt umber. This is going to be the dead wood colour within our greens. You need this to add that real life kind of look to it. I've got a realism type of sky colour, so I want some realism foliage as well. And now I want to mix up some forest green with that yellow as well, a lot brighter. Okay, I've got the cad yellow light and the brown now. Everything, I've dried this, so as this will stamp on beautifully. And this is pretty much our realistic dead colours within the valley mountaintops here. This just creates the light hitting them. I'll leave the bottom there, put some over here. Any big blobs like that, try not to get them. I'm going to stamp that back away with the yellow or green that I mix up when I tint that up. Just try not to think, just kind of do this brown dead undergrowth colour randomly, and it'll come out natural like nature intended it. I'm not really trying to think. When I zoom back, you'll get a better idea of just how it looks. And then once I highlight a lot of stuff with the yellow green, it's going to come into play. Practice this procedure doing mountains like this if you like it. Block it in and practice it. So I've got the cad yellow light and the forest green now, and I want to mix up a real bright colour of this green now. So it's pretty much going to tint it very brightly. Now let's see how bright this is. Don't want it too cartoony bright, otherwise it's going to look funny. How's that looking? Not too bad. The light's hitting this. See, so I'm leaving the browns that I've put there, I'm sort of putting it on top of all that brown. Okay, I've finished that. Now I want to block in the cabin slash hut or barn, whatever it is, and then we can put tints and shadows and tones within that, okay? Now I want to do the roof first. So see how it's sort of a silvery bluey colour? I'm going to get the blue colour of the sky and mix this colour up. And then see this part here? I'm gonna tint this colour here with some white and tone that colour with some grey, okay? So I'm just going to grab the bit I want to tint with the white and get it really pretty much here. So it's pretty much a white with a bit of blue into it. So there's that one. So that's been tinted with white. Tint, tone and shade. White, grey and blacks. And it's this bottom half here. We want this colour. Nice and sharp. Take your time, no rush. Now we'll add some grey to that. Just add a bit as you go. See how we go. Okay, we've got the grey mixed with that colour now. And we'll bring this down. I should have done this one first, but we will manage. I want to get this bent line in the skillion roof there reasonably straight. Otherwise it's going to look diculated. Don't want a diculated painting. Oh, so this is the light hitting, and it's got some tone values there. Okay. And getting these right tints and tones and shadows, it makes the painting look a bit more real. Okay. I'll neaten that up. Now I'm getting the littlest of black just with some of that blue, just so I can shade it, because some of that roof up there needs some shading now. Pretty much where these sheets of tin are lifted, where they're hitting the skillion section, there's bits of shadow under there. See, a skillion on a roof, you've got your normal pitch, and then where it sort of comes out flat, that's a skillion roof. We could probably put little bits. See this angle here? Keep that same angle, just to indicate. Get some on your brush, your dag. Just to indicate some of the edges of the sheets lifted. So boom, about here somewhere. Just like that. That'll do. Okay, I've just finished the roof there. Now I've got a little bit there, here and there is done. Now we've got to block in this. This part of the roof might look a bit crooked, but it'll straighten up when we add the wall colour in, okay? I want to get some of the, just a bit of the black before I start on the roof, just to put that shadowed gable eave in, and then we can, I've got some raw sienna, some white and burnt umber, just some different colours to make up the panelling of the barn. So there's this little gable here. We want it nice and tight against the bright edge of it and bring it back that way. I'm putting this on first because it doesn't matter if I go over this side, because I'm going to block in the actual barn. So this is where you're adding layers that belong first, second and third in light. Now let's start with our raw sienna. We'll use this to block in the cabin, alright? And the good thing with a flat brush, you can get it on its edge against that colour there. Let's say line that in there like that. Some areas might need 2 coats. And then we can just bring it down, okay? Bring it down in the shape to get the wood panelling in. Now this bit here is going to come here. Nice and tight against there. Bit broken back here. See, I put a bit too much water in this. It looks a bit opaque looking. Come down there, nice and tight, beautiful. We'll get a layer on there first. I can still see where I need my lines underneath. Now we'll turn the brush around and come along here. And this is what's cutting back that gabled edge of the roof. Nice and tight. So if you did the wall first, then the roof, you would have made a mistake getting it nice and neat the way I'm trying to show you here. And then along the skillion gable here. Beautiful. Done. Load your brush up. Pull it down in the direction the panels will be going. Okay. Now what I'll do, once I've done this colour, I'm going to dry it so as the next colour will go on there nice and solid. Now along here, let's get this trimmed up. It'll bring the bottom of that fascia edge of that roof in nice and level the way it should look. Beautiful. And then come straight down here. All right. Now I'll dry that and add another coat. See the way all these lines are in it? They look good. Okay, so I'm picking up the raw sienna again, and just like this bit here looks a bit unethical. So I'll try and straighten that up. Get this up there. Pull it down. That doorway is going to be very much black in there. Don't worry about the ground, because the ground can be painted up to that to cover it. So now I've added the white to that other pile of the raw sienna there, and I've tinted it with the white. So we've got that colour and this colour. And we want to get like here, just sort of touch it and let it come down, straight down. Where else? Bits here. Get it nice and tight against the roof there. Bring it down. Don't worry if you think you've messed it. You can bring this colour back to fix it. I'm just wanting pretty much the weather stain value underneath the eave here, where wood, when it gets weathered, changes colour. And that's what's picked up here. All sorts of kind of, keep them straight. How's that looking in the monitor? That's not too bad. And what about this side here? We're pretty much dark under there. We want that dark under there, and just very faintly some of these, like that, very faintly. Now this colour here will change the tint. So I've got that burnt umber I had next to it. Now I'm mixing that with the raw sienna, okay? Pretty much the skillion on this roof, on this section, has obviously fallen off. And this is a totally different weathered area. All the way down to the bottom there. That's looking good. Now some of this colour is under here. Get it there and pull it down
just to get the shadow under this back eave section. I'll redo the roof off camera there. I've gone a bit into it because unfortunately when you're filming you're sort of under the pump. And then we just have some slight little, all these bits of lines that we did have here for the doors. They're sort of in all these darker bits as well. I forget how they were there. I could look at my traceable and put them in. Something like that. There's a little bit more down the corner here. There we go. Try and get that a bit darker out there. I can add the lights back up if I feel I've buggered it. Now I've got black, and it's tinted with some of the burnt umber there. I'm just going over the blacks again. So mainly these doors here as well. I wanted a darker value here, just indicating an old opening there within the building. And these here. So these are, I think, within the shack, they look like old sections of doors and openings that have been boarded up. So we just pretty much scooting them in. Keep them straight if you can. And if you want, put bits like this down there. Take your time and do that. I might do that later. I'll do some now so you can see how I'm doing it. Alright, we'll get this doorway black. We want the edges of it nice and tight to create a deep dark hole. Breathe, man, within the structure. Again, might get in there, and this will really bring the structure home, you know. There we go. Beautiful. Mainly making this look like it's open a bit. And over here. Bits. There we go. Okay, I'm just grabbing some of the blue that I mixed with the grey and the white for this tone here. And I just want to get bits of light hitting here as well, and I can use this to straighten that edge up. So this is just, this bit here's got bits of light hitting it from the reference picture, so I'll put that there. And it kind of makes sense too. I'm also just coming from the bottom and pulling it up into here, into the wood here, because I just want it very subtle, but there. Probably bits coming up through here as well. Get a bit more on your brush. It's gone very tacky down there, so I'm having some trouble with it. There we go. Not in the doorway though, just coming up there like that.
All that's left now is to block in the foreground in front of what we have here. So I've got my raw sienna here, and I'm just going to use that with some water in it, and I want to just come along here, come along where I want the bottom of my barn to be, just pretty much all the way here. There, before I go any further, I'm going to have to bring the black of that door down a bit more. So we'll just block this in here like that, okay? Just to that black there. Going in front of the barn there. Grab some of the darker brown that I had on the board, and from here I'm going to bring the darker value in from, see how this bush has the dark? I want to continue that. I could have dried it first, I should have. You dry it first when you're doing it, and we'll get that down there like that.
Okay, I've dried that. I'm grabbing the black now so I can continue this black from behind the barn there. We want depth there. Just scrumble that up there like that. Bring that down just to there somewhere like that. And the same on the other side. Come down here. Just something to start off there, because I want some ground cover going underneath that hillside there. You'll see what I mean when I get it done. Doesn't matter if it's got some dark there. Okay, everything's dry. Now I want to just bring the bottom of this back down over that black. I've got some yellow green as well, so as we can put the foreground on. So I'm just grabbing this colour again and just dribble that back over the black like so, okay?
Now I've got my yellow green out of the tube. I'm just adding the touch of yellow to it just to get it the more better value. I want a nice healthy grass lawn colour that I'm going for. Now I want the lawn, I just want to, I'll tape up the edge of that barn there so I don't get any in there. And I want the lawn, if anything, it's sort of like coming under there. From under there and out to us. Okay, see, there we go. And then we'll come, we'll put the lawn in, so I'll just do it long ways. Just like so. I've dried everything. Now the brown underneath is pretty much the dirt colour out there. Don't worry so much about that. I'm just using, what am I using? I'm using my flat filbert, cat tongue filbert. Now we want the same here as well, sort of coming from underneath there and out towards us. Okay, you see where I'm going with this? Just something different that I've to paint. Now, I want some shadow here, okay, just around here. So, white tints, grey shades, black shadows. So we'll get a little bit of black and start putting into here, just the littlest bit. Look at what I've done. And this will create a shadow of that colour. You're not going to go and mix up another green, totally different, and be out of sync with the values of the colour, okay? Shadows in a painting make it. Now, well, I better dry it first. Okay, start again. So from the cabin, now this is a shadow colour of that grass, and we pretty much want shadows coming all the way from there, leaving some of that lighter value there, and getting some, now you want to scrumble this in so it's just all whispery on the edge. You don't want it sharp edges, and get a bit of shadow coming across the whole area. Now you might find, like I'm finding with this, I'm getting bits on the edge that I'm not happy with, so I'll come back with the yellow green and come all the way along here, and I'll neaten that up. But this is the shadow of that grass we just put in. Okay, now just against the barn I'm picking up some of the forest green. This is just going to finish it off. I'm using that same brush. I just want to put some shrubs here and there to break things back a bit. So I want to probably put one here. So I'll put a shrub there, get some air in between it. A shrub there. Maybe coming across the lawn a bit. Get your darker forest green for this. We want one coming up over this side of the barn here, in the front of the door there. That can come all the way down off the painting. Okay, I've pretty much sat down the barn to the ground with some shrubs here and there. Now I've just got black. I want the bits within black, just bits within, and then underneath as well. The underneath's got to be black, it's important. Get underneath there black, like so, and a bit within the bush. Where's that black gone? And the same here. Just stamping that in and getting the bottom very black. I've even got a bit over here. Coming over, this is pretty much in the front, coming off the screen, out of shot. So that's dry. Just to finish it off now, we've got the yellow green, and those shrubs, they're a bit hard to see at the moment, but this yellow green is going to sort of put them in. Just leave bits. It's going to come, how's that looking? That's it. Oh, big blob there. Always got to get a blob, don't I? That'll do for that one. And these ones now, we want the tops of them done. Coming, this is where you're sitting everything back. You've got your shadow that you made. This is just going to dribble over those shadows now. Let me have a look at that in the monitor. That's doing the job. It's a bit blobby, but she'll be right. Kind of making different shrubs in front of each other with this colour now. This is what's distinguishing what's where. Bits in front of there. Over that black. That's why I wanted the black at the bottom there. See? So this is just dribbling on top of it. And we've got a nice, rather big shrub here. And it's dribbling over the black. And we've got a little bit of black coming out on the field here, which is shadowing what I'm putting on now. Something can come a bit brighter down there. There we go. Any of these really stark bright ones that if I feel I've done it too much, I can always get the darker colour and sink it back. But these are totally different greens than the distant ones in the hills there. You know? That'll do. The cow's at home. Okay, I'll just whack a signature on here and we'll whack a frame on it. And check out the links in the description below. All my paintings are for sale. You can purchase them through the PayPal link down there.
the donate PayPal link. And you can request to become a member of my art group. It's a good platform where you can share your art with other artists. Be a member of a great community there. And there's a patrons platform. I want to thank my patrons who stick with me and support me every month. All right, let's make a frame on this.
Okay. There you go, that's not too shabby. We've got a barn in the hills, okay? We've got some tinted shadows and tones in there, a beautiful sky. You can even put a tree on both sides or one side, some tree coming up there, okay? And remember, you can do that, all right? Okay, thank you for joining me and watching my video. Check out the links in the description below. Share, like and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. And if you like what I'm doing, you make sure you tell your friends. But if you don't, you tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on you.